Hi, I'm Courtney. For our third video journal, we're supposed to talk about a way that we've seen prevention in our community or in our own lives. And I want to talk about prevention that I've seen at my children's school. So here are my prevention glasses. um, and I'll let you take a look through my prevention glasses and see what's been going on. Here, take a look. A couple of things that I think the school where my children go to in New Haven, Vermont, they're doing a really great job in teaching empathy and why it's important to be unique. Here, this is a zoom in of my glasses. Empathy and uniqueness. So empathy is the ability to understand someone else's feelings and perspective. And I think it's really important to teach this for several reasons. And our school does a great job of working with the children from an early age to start to develop this vocabulary and sort of an understanding of what is empathy, some examples, what does it look like, how can we practice that, a lot of role playing and actual examples. And then sort of as the kids get older and they've been talking about it for a few years, getting into the philosophy of why it's important and how to apply it in a more abstract way. So this is what they're working on. So how to listen, how to actively listen and not just sort of space out or be working on your rebuttal or your own ideas when someone else is talking. That shows empathy. Seeing the situation from someone else's perspective is showing empathy. Not judging somebody, maybe hearing all of what they have to say before jumping to a conclusion. Being willing to challenge your own ideas, to acknowledge that you may not know everything or have all the answers, or that maybe the way you see things isn't the only way of looking at things. And then using your imagination to maybe come up with a scenario in which the other person is sort of justified, or you can see where they're coming from, but maybe also where you're coming from is equally viable. And so I think the school does a great job in that. And then the other one is talking about uniqueness. So the value and importance of being one of a kind, of being an individual, and really talking about how to celebrate the differences that children have and that all people have, and that while it's comfortable to sort of be the same and fit in, and there's a lot of pressure to do that in school, that it's really valuable to be unique, and it takes all different kinds of people to make the world go round. If we were all teachers, then there would be, no bankers or farmers or whatever. And so celebrating the unique perspective and gifts and talents and ideas that each person has, and saying we're all the same for these reasons, and that's wonderful, but we're also very different for these reasons, and that's really amazing and wonderful as well. And so my son is in 6th grade, and so we've been in the same school since he was in kindergarten. And with this program that the school counselor has put in place, she's been there for 5 years. And these are some of the cool things that we've seen in our own children and their friends, as well as some of the other kids that I've come across in coaching different sort of sports teams and stuff. So yeah, you can sort of read through this list, but we've seen that there's been a decrease in bullying. I think, when somebody is different, that can be scary, or it can be an opportunity to pick on them and sort of position yourself, higher up on the, playground food chain or whatever. but by talking about how amazing it is to be different and unique, and by talking about empathy and putting yourself in someone else's shoes, we've actually seen that bullying in the school has decreased. Some other great things about celebrating uniqueness and developing empathy in children is that they, it strengthens their moral compass. It gives them compassion in sort of, as children, but also later in life, it's going to help them to be open to other cultures and other ideas because they've had these years of practice and sort of building this really great foundation on empathy. And while it's great to, be different, and it's also great to be the same. So sort of finding a balance between the commonalities and the differences. It's a great tool for teaching self-control and self-regulation, because instead of reacting to something that's different or strange or unknown or scary and using that as a point of conflict, it helps children to understand how to pause and take a moment, really hear what the other person has to say. And so they're regulating that sort of first instinct. And so they're building their self-control and their ability to pause before reacting, which saves a lot of potential negative things, and just really making them open-minded and sort of promoting community and just like that sense of being together and supporting each other, even though we may be and are very different from each other. So that's what I've seen empathy and uniqueness when taught to children over the course of several years in a really intentional way has a great positive effect on the children and the school community, and my guess would be the families and extended community as well. Thanks.